Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Harris from the Monoxide Podcast. Real quick, Howard's Cams was founded as a racing cam manufacturer almost 80 years ago when Howard Johansson created Howard's Power and Racing Equipment in 1945. Howard's Cams has always used on-track experience to design the most powerful designs, and today they have an even greater group of experienced racers in circle track, drag racing, road race, mud bog, and marine. They use all this input plus the most advanced computer software to design the most competitive race-winning products. From pioneers in drag racing and oval track to cutting-edge marine development, Howard's Cams is at the forefront of the industry. So make sure to reach out to our friend, Luke B, for your next valve train upgrade.
Man, thanks again to Harris from Monoxide for doing the ad read there. That dude's awesome. If you're not following Monoxide, you need to do that. He was coming to the circuit. It's going to be his break into drag and drive. And I know that guys that have done like road rally stuff in the past, like I don't know. He used to run a road rally company. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I know those guys, once they get into this, nothing else matters other than drag and drive. So I can't wait for him to come back to the circuit 2026. He can't do 2025 because they'll be at Road America, but the circuit 26, him and Dan will be back down here. So again, Monoxide, if you're not following them, you need to do that as well. And big shout out to Luke B, who we've got to get to a drag and drive, bro. Come on, man. Tell me what we got to do to get you to the circuit 2025. I'm ready. I'm ready for you to come down. Let's talk about one of the coolest things in all of automotive aftermarket right now, the Billy button. Y'all, Bill Armstrong, the man, bank shift Billy, the clutch setup has taken his brain and has created this Billy button. We talked about it at PRI. It debuted at PRI. This is a big deal. This is a panel that is wireless that controls things. So Matt Frost made these posts here, posted these pictures, and then made this post. He said, I got the first production Bang Shift Billy wireless button set up. This is going on my new semi trailer. Yep, you heard that right. I bet you thought it was only for race cars. We've been helping Bill Armstrong with testing on semi trailers. You can run the tarp, end gate, extra lights, belly dump, all off a wireless controller that can be left with the trailer. No more worrying if the truck is wired right. As long as it has a single power source at the trailer, you don't need anything wired into the truck. He says on his step deck, I'll be doing extra chicken lights without splicing into the factory harness, load lights, and my oversized lights along with an axle dump. Y'all, this is a big deal. So, I mean, obviously you probably know Matt, moves things around by semi. When Bill began this process, he was thinking like Jeeps. He's thinking, race cars and trailers and all that kind of stuff. And this is something that can grow drastically in the aftermarket. So if you haven't done it yet and you basically need to power up things, or you don't want to deal with the wiring that is going to be crazy within your car, you can use this Billy button. And it's essentially a wireless button panel that you put wherever you want it, and then you run the wiring somewhere else. So you're not wiring through, you're not making the loop, but through the firewall and back out, which is really, really cool. I love this setup. It happened, things happen very fast. He used what he had from his knowledge of all the electronics that go into the, slipper clutch basically setup, to do this now. So this is going to be really neat. The way he really started with it was a trans brake button. And so that's what he developed, the quickness, like how fast it works. And it makes that stupid wire that you have on your steering wheel, it's gone now. So this is a much better way. This is really, really a cool setup. So we have, I don't know, I highly recommend all of this stuff that Bill Armstrong makes. Just go to Bank Shift Billy. You can find it. It's on there, and it's going to be awesome. All right. And then if you guys are friends with Daniel Green or Danny Diesel, you've probably seen this post. It's been floating around. Basically, the racers in Thailand, where he is living right now, racing these diesel trucks on a circuit course and on the drag strip, he basically says, would you donate those expired seatbelts, window nets, and helmets? In Thailand, we don't have strict SFI rules, so that safety stuff you have laying around the garage, well, we could use it here. I can arrange shipping. He said, box it up and I'll send you a label. Let's clean out your garage and help some people that need better safety equipment. right? As you are building cars, safety isn't necessarily number one on your mind, especially if you don't have the ability to have that stuff um, easily accessible. We're so lucky to have Summit 4 facilities here in the US. Like we can have stuff in 2 days. For things in Thailand, that's not the case. Plus, it's expensive to get there. So if you're buying all this new product, we as Americans have to do this for our NHRA, IHRA, WDRA licensing to get your passes in. To make passes at certain tracks, you got to have all this stuff. It's got to be in date. Well, if it's still good, get with Daniel Green or Danny Diesel and figure out a way to get it to him. If you have friends that have stuff, maybe somebody just bought seatbelts because they expired, but their car's been on jack stands for 3 years because they were going to just swap out the turbos, and then it's been on jack stands for 3 years, or a drive shaft like my old truck. Seatbelts expire, but they've never been used. So if they're in good shape, please get with Danny, figure out how to get those over to them, so those guys can be safer, man. Let's be honest. A lot of that stuff is not bad. It's just out of date. And then I want to give a big shout out to Moore Race Chassis. Matt Moore posted this yesterday, talking about, he basically said, Aiden, Blair, and Taylor Elman went to Pike County Job Fair to hire the next generation of fabricators. As Doug Cook says it, no penny loafer wearing corporate guys here, just us reinvesting in the future. I think more shops should do this. I will say it's not going to work your first time. I almost guarantee it. But by about the third or fourth time, you're going to have a reputation that you're going to be there, right? So Steven and I talk about this a lot with Narcoleptic Customs, is how you hire someone that can stay with you for 5 or 10 years, right? It's okay for people to leave a job, but how do you hire the next round? How do you replace them? How do you train them? How do you do all that stuff? You really have to think about that as you're going in to grow your business, which is one thing Doug Cook's done a great job. I mean, obviously he's grown TBM, motion, all that kind of stuff very well. And More Race Chassis is as busy as they've probably ever been. And they are backed up 2 years, I'm sure, on building chassis. So you have to have more people if you're going to do more work. If you are going to have more people, man, if I was 16 or 17 again and a place like that had come in, I definitely would have been way more interested in doing that in some form or fashion. Not necessarily building stuff. I love the social side of stuff. That wasn't a thing when I graduated high school, but this is a this is something that the automotive community needs. We need to do more of this. We need to hire those people. We need to train them, because here's the deal. If you hire somebody at 17 and they work for you for 5 years and they really like wiring, okay, we always talk about wiring here because people hate doing it. Let's say that person really likes wiring, they do a great job, and they're like, hey, I want to go do this on my own. Hey, guess what? Now you have a subcontractor. You can take the cars that you're going to keep building and you can take it to them for wiring. You can charge your customer X amount percent over, and hey, then you don't have to do the work and they take care of the wiring. So as a community, we've got to get better at this. We've got to get more. We always say get more young people in, but shit, I was at Yellow Belly. The video is on Keith Haney Racing right now. There's a ton of kids into cars. They're just not into old school carbureted hot rods anymore. They're into everything, everything, everything. So if we can find a way to keep those kids in cars and develop careers like what Matt is doing here and what Doug does at TBM and Motion, those are careers for these people. They have opportunities to move up. They can do more. They can work more. They can make more. So instead of just hiring the cheapest person you can to get a mediocre job done, pay them good money. Go up in your rates. We talked to a guy the other day, hadn't changed his rates in 3 or 4 years. Y'all, it's time to up your rates. Just do it in, I don't know, August. Say, hey, in 4 months, we're gonna up our rates. We're going up $10 an hour. Now suddenly you can pay one of your workers $3 or $4 more an hour. I know I don't have a shop. I know it's all theory, but we've got to continue. Cars are cool. Let's ride this wave while we have it. Okay. Big deal right now. So big shout out to Matt Moore and Moore Chassis. And then of course, Sick Week back on the block for the voted best motorsport race in the US by USA Today, 10 best. guys, you got to go over and vote for Sick Week. Whether you've been or not, you know it brings huge attention to the drag and drive community. So they won it in 2024. They were the number one voted best motorsport event in the U.S. Guys, we've got to go over and vote for that. Please, please, please. The window for voting closes soon. Again, go over USA Today, vote for Sick Week 2025. Got to keep it up. Got to grow the drag and drive community. And then finally, we were just talking about motion a minute ago. I forgot to put this note in here. Congratulations to Jim Braun for his new position at TBM Brakes. This is huge. TBM posted the other day. We're proud to announce that Jim Braun has recently taken on the new role of Business Operations Manager at TBM Brakes after spending the last year in business development. Under this new role, he will take TBM into its next chapter of our business, overseeing sales, marketing, production, inventory, customer support, and more. That's a lot, man. That's a lot. TBM has experienced exponential growth over the last several years, and with some very strategic goals, we look forward to his strong leadership skills to execute while maintaining all of the strengths and traditions of TBM legacy. It's a big deal. This is someone hiring a racer, a drag and drive racer, which will be great for us on our drag and drive side. This is a higher level position. Now you're moving into this. This is what we're talking about with the stuff a minute ago. This is how you grow your businesses, how you grow the community, and just keep adding. Like more like Matt said, no penny loafers over here. This is a big deal. This is a big shout out to Doug, and big shout out to Jim for earning this. Brett LaSala is a big deal at TBM in Motion. Like, they're building a huge community over there. All right, y'all. I just want to say thank you so much for watching this one. I can't believe I've rambled for 50 minutes here, and you guys have stayed and watched. So thank you very much. You guys are awesome. You're our race car friends. We love you. If you haven't done it yet, race car friends hoodies and shirts are still in stock. We only have a few more left of each size. So if you haven't done it yet, jump on the website. I'll be updating the quantities this afternoon. So if it says sold out, that means I ain't got it anymore. So we will be making another order here very soon on the Race Car Friends Waffle House shirts, or Race Car Friends favorite restaurant shirt. Probably got to word that in a different way. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on the website, dragdriverepeat.com/store on that. And then our sponsors, y'all, big shout out to them. Everybody on this list is drag and drive adjacent in some way. Like Summit obviously races themselves, Tommy and Jim race drag and drive. They will be at Drag Week, I think, this year. Deechworks, they were a stop on 666. They're a stop on Rocky Mountain Race Week. Crazy. Love those guys over there. And their pumps are in a ton of cars. And hey, if you guys have ever heard of Chris Story, they're a big part of his program as well. They sponsor him too. Molly Motorsports, Eric, George, both of those guys race drag and drive in their cars. And then Adam came all the way out from North Carolina to the circuit last year. So appreciate them being on site. Driven Racing Oil, Bill, Ashley, Robin, all the team. You guys have met them at drag and drive events. They are out and about talking about, being in Memphis, man. They hit a ton of these events. Howard's Cams, Luke B, boy, we got to get you to a drag and drive event. J-Wire Solutions, Jay Blanchard, co-pilot to Brian Acton, one of the premier 850 class racers, WAF Racing. If you haven't met Chris Wozniak, you haven't been to a drag and drive yet. Dude does the circuit. He does Sick Week. He's doing Sick Summer, I think, and one other one. He is hosting a party for Sick Smokies. So dude's all over the place. Love it. Performer Built Transmissions. Ryan attended Sick Summer last year with the Price family and the big family wagon. Ryan was on episode 102 talking about budget-friendly tips to help your 4L80 live to 1,000 horsepower. I mean, your junkyard 4L80 live to 1,000. It's crazy. I love that he's a part of this. Car Change 3D. Corey has been to the circuit a few times. He's coming back for 2025, and I think he's bringing his truck. So we'll get him on the track for sure. Power Tube TV. Ray and Brian over there have always been involved in the automotive aftermarket or automotive entertainment. Sweet Patina. Man, if you guys don't know who Sweet Patina is, Blake and the team over there, TKO hand cleaning wipes were built for drag and drive. That's the whole thing. They really weren't, but they were built for roadside repairs. And that's what those guys do. They've driven their 57 Chevrolet wagon to all 48 states. They haul it or they drive it everywhere. It's got like 80,000 miles on it since they put the motors in. It's been crazy. And then Racing Junk Classifieds. You can find your next parts at Racing Junk. Oh man, here we go. Fast Ranger Motorsports. Luke's going to be my co-pilot at Six Summer. Let's go. I'm ready for this. This could be awesome. Because once Luke gets involved with Drag and Drive, it's going to change his life. It's going to be a life-changing moment, especially something like Six Summer with a little shorter drives. That'll be good for him because he's not ready for like Rocky Mountain Race Week yet. Don't need to jump off in the middle of that one yet. So this will be great. I can't wait. If this happens, dude, it's going to be amazing. All right, guys, thank you so much. We'll be back on Wednesday night for episode 103 of the Drag Drive Repeat Show presented by Summit Racing. Thanks for watching this morning. We'll see you next time.